Yep, and good evening everyone, and I hope y'all are as excited as I am to be here for round 10 of the GT1 Mercedes Masterclass here at GAVRA Racing. These guys are here at Sakitto GP tonight. We're currently watching Cypher Knight run around the track. I did have just a slight delay getting in here, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to real quick, I stumbled over my two left feet getting everything up on the screen for y'all. But yeah, I cannot say how excited I am to see these guys here tonight at Sakitto GP. This is going to be a really amazing race out of all of these guys. Oh, as it does look like we may be having one or two guys with a little bit of disconnect issues, but hopefully they'll get back in before it's over with. And yep, sorry y'all, I am still changing a little bit of screens around so I can see a little bit better. As you can see, like I keep saying, we are here at Sakitto GP. It is 5.37 kilometers or 3.34 miles long. 15 turns, which none of are easy. These are all very high speed, high risk turns. And these guys do have, looks like I printed that wrong. They have a 10-minute practice, not 15. And so I believe that should also put them in for a 10-minute qualifying, not the 15 that I wrote down. And as you can see, I'll get some better weather icons later on for y'all, but these guys are under, I believe it is overcast for practice, overcast during qualifying. They've got a massive 90-minute or an hour and a half race, and I did not look to see what the random weather slot is, so that'll be a surprise for all of us. But they are starting over overcast, and it looks like they will be moving to heavy cloud. So I would say we do have a chance of rain in the forecast. I believe the saying here at GAVRA is we always have about a 25% chance of rain. I know, but I hope it stays dry for these guys. This is an incredibly tough track. And let me move this camera around a little bit. Cypher Knight's doing a great run right now. Y'all can't see his time, but I can. He's actually setting the second fastest time during practice at the moment. And we'll go up here to McCaleb. He is currently setting the fastest, and I'll get some of this stuff off of the screen for y'all, make a little bit more sense so we can see what these guys are actually running. Alright, yep, there we go. Now we can actually see what these guys are running. As you can tell, we do have 10 drivers in tonight. Like I said earlier, we had looked like one or two of the guys did have a little bit of a disconnect. And y'all can't see my info feed, but it looks like the reason we see a lot of these guys not with a time in yet is there's a lot of track limit time invalidations going on. The race director on this track is extremely brutal, along with some of the curbs around this track. And I'll have some points up here for y'all shortly, but right now I'll go ahead and I'll just go down. I'll get some better cards made later, so right now I'm just gonna improvise and introduce y'all to our drivers tonight, because we do have, and let me make sure before I start going through these names every time. Sorry y'all, I'm trying to keep track of a lot of drivers in several of the leagues, so I do get confused on some of the names. And yep, I was right. Okay, just making sure I was right there. So right now we are on McCaleb, but I'm gonna go up here to Marcos because he's setting the fastest practice time at the moment, and we will have Marcos tonight. He has been with GAVRA Racing for a couple of seasons, I believe, along with McCaleb. I've had some good races with McCaleb. I believe think McCaleb's, I should know this, y'all. I should really know if McCaleb is in the Radical with me. And I'm pretty sure he is. Oh, as we do have someone going around, that first turn it's a really hard turn. And tonight we are also going to have Back's Console Planet. Looks like he's doing a really nice job right now. And we will have GTS. GTS is, I could be wrong. I could be wrong on a lot of things. I believe GTS is not necessarily a new driver per se. I believe he has been with GAVRA Racing for at least 1 or 2 seasons. But yeah, as some of these drivers like Cypher Knight sitting in the pit. Cypher Knight is one of our fellow commentators. He covers the Radicals with Dutch Muso on Friday, so y'all make sure you tune in and watch him. He does a great show. Cypher Knight has been with GAVRA for many seasons. There are several of these drivers I watched for at least 1 or 2 seasons before I ever even joined GAVRA Racing myself. Cypher Knight was one of them. Snaker is, I believe he is a little bit, oh, he does see, like I said, that first turn is so difficult. It's very high speed. You have to really balance the car. And while I'm talking about that, we don't have long left, but I'm going to get y'all a speedo up here so we can get an idea how fast these guys are going. As you can see, they're not going slow by any means. They are really... Snaker has got it all the way to the floor, looks like around almost every turn. So yeah, this is going to be a very full throttle race. And where is Agulator? There's Agulator. Agulator has been with GAVRA for quite a while too. I remember watching him for a couple of seasons before I joined. All these drivers, I can't say one of them in particular is... Oh, yep, I see your messages, Sig, give me just 1 second, and I will. Oh, as Agulator is going around a little bit. Oh, Bowie also, these guys are having a little trouble with these cold tires. And there's Juke just sitting in the pit. Let's go up here. I will leave y'all with Manic, and I'm going to check in on Discord right fast. Yes, Eggman, if you want, we can both jump into, if you want to jump in the waiting room, Bowie is already in there. Bowie is going to do a post-race interview tonight with us. He's being really awesome. And we'll eventually get everybody caught up on how to use the Discord chat. But, yeah, man, Sig, if you want to jump in the... Oh, you're in the commentators box? I will jump in the commentators box with you. And, Sig, I should have you in here. Can you hear me good? Hey, how you doing, Sig? Oh, that was a shame you weren't able to... You were having a little bit of trouble with the disconnect there. Oh, no. Oh, man, this is totally awesome. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. But I'm not trying to be rude, but since these guys are the qualifying or practice is about over, I'm going to go ahead and go over your standings that you do. Because if everybody doesn't know it, Sig does fantastic standings for the league. Go to the Discord channel and check them out. Yeah, so I'll run through those real quick, and then we'll get back and we'll see what these guys are doing. We have, wow, Back's Console Planet is currently in the lead with 222 points. Sig, you're really not... This is the one that's going to hurt you, though. You've got 189 points. Yeah, and that had me looking at Marcos in third. He's got 132 points, and when you said the 30 points per race, I quick did the math, and you know, if Marcos was to come in first this race, he would literally have to come in first in all 3 races, I think, to have a chance to beat Bax. But then I still think I don't think he could do it. It's because Bax is gonna pull in good points. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense actually. Yep, and yeah, it's definitely going to be extremely close for you guys. I believe there's some. Uh, if I can time it right and I can get the words out of my mouth fast enough, I have all of your standings loaded up to go through at the end, and I'm gonna attempt to go through all of the standings for everyone because I believe there was some really close runoffs in several of the leagues this season. See. Oh, yeah. I have to admit how the you and the other administrators keep all of this stuff clear in your heads is completely beyond me. Just trying to keep up with I believe just 3 at the moment is incredibly tough for me just to keep up with the names. Um, but oh yeah, Sig, I have neglected to go on down the points. I'm going to do that real quick so I can let these guys look at the race. Um, in 4th place we have Cypher Knight, who I believe are currently, well, y'all can't see him on the screen, so never mind. Cypher Knight is in 4th with 106 points. 5th is GTS with 103. 6th is Interceptor with 99. 7th is Bowie with 76. And Bowie is completely hyped in the live feed tonight. 8th is Schwami with 66, and I have to say, just on a personal note, I really hope we get to see Schwami again next season. 9th is Agulator with 60 points. 10th is McCaleb with 59. 11th, Snaker with 58 points. 12th is Javier with 50. 13th is Ibrich with 24. 14th is Math Gamer with 17 points. 15th is Max Play with 14th. And bringing up the rear, who I don't think I've seen him in the several races now, is RR Alids, which, yeah, no, looking at the sheet, I have not seen him in a couple races, but I remember I was really enjoying watching him during the first couple of races that he was in with us. He was doing a really good job, I thought. Uh, Yep. Um, yeah, no, I have to admit, Sig, that here lately I have been very on board with y'all on that. It's very disheartening for me to see some of the drivers drop out of the races. Cause like you said, y'all put a lot of work into it. I don't put as much work as y'all have put into organizing all of it, but oh no, but I'm just saying, we all put our work into it, and it is a little disheartening to us when we see some drivers drop out. Uh, and we've got Joe in the live chat already giving us banner. He yeah, and he's doing really good right now too, Sig. I'm on backs, and he is running a 132.69, which is currently the fastest lap during qualifying. Interceptor isn't far behind him with a 133.261. Yeah, oh, yeah, it looked like he was having a little trouble there coming out of turn one. That seems to be getting a lot of people tonight, Sig. Yeah. Yeah, the whole, let's see, we've got first, second, third, fourth, first through sixth are literally right on top of each other. Snakers in sixth with a 133.76, and backs, like you said, with the 132.69s. These guys are going to be really close tonight. Oh, GTS caught those curbs pretty hard. Didn't mean to cut you off there. We're going to get that fixed too. Yeah. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, I think by me and Fana's math, it usually you'll vary somewhere between about 30 seconds in a minute, but Yeah, once I get that other thing taken care of that I talked about in our box earlier, then I think we won't have to worry about that too much. I plan on bumping us down all the way to pretty much as instant as I can get us, which will, yeah, which we're not too far behind them, but yeah, we do end up just a little bit behind them. And what have these guys got left? Under a minute left in qualifying. Sig, most of the guys look happy with their laps and are in the pit. I'm currently on your teammate Bowie at the moment. He Yeah, because he did, his last lap, he did take about a second and a half off. He was in the high 35s. He's now in the 134.47. Oh, but, yep, 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 but that was the end of qualifying. I'm going to run down through these guys real quick, Sig. We will have Bax Console Planet in first. Interceptor will start second. GTS third. Marcos fourth. McCaleb fifth. Snaker in sixth. Bowie in seventh. Cypher Knight in eighth. Agulator ninth. Sig, you're going to have to do something about that jukebox. You can't get him out of the pit. Every race, I see him sitting in the pit. That's what I'm thinking. He wants to get in the race, but he don't want to get out there and actually race. There's definitely something wrong with that guy. Oh yeah, see that was one of the things I did not look at. I've actually been trying not to look. Hold on, y'all give me just a second. For some reason I ran out of the pit box, back down to my car again. I have no idea why I always do this. I do it every time though. You'd think I'd just stay in the commentator's box. But um yeah, no, you give me a second. I want to run down there to the car and act like I'm going to get out on track, but we all know I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to be excited for this race, Sig. This is, these guys have been extremely tight all season. Now I did not do the calculation on the temperature because I have to admit I am lazy on the GT1 race and I don't do the conversions for everybody. So the temperature y'all see on screen is correct, but it is Fahrenheit. Um, but just noting on what you were talking about, the chilly track, it is quite a chilly track and air temperature for these guys today. All right. Yep. I think we've got about 15 seconds still. Chef, the live chat is a little quiet tonight because you're not filling it up. It's all we're blaming you tonight for that one. Yep. All right, and these guys are sinking in. Will we get to see the lights? We're not. It's not going to show the lights. So I'll have to wing this. And they are off. Bax is still managing to hold on to first. No, Interceptor has taken first. Bax has fallen down to second. Marcos is in third. GTS fourth. Snaker holding on to fifth. Cypher Knight has made his way up into sixth place. McCaleb in seventh. Bowie eighth. Agulator ninth. And was talking so fast, I missed them coming through that first turn. That had to be to look. It had to just look absolutely amazing with these guys because everyone has come through very clean. Everyone's still within 1 second of each other, and yeah, it really does. And of course, a little. I'm one of those. I'm a fuddy duddy about. Oh, as we do have, I believe that was Marcos got a little bit wide there. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a fuddy duddy about contact, but as long as it's nice light contact and I know that it wasn't intentional. It's I have no problems with it. And I've actually had quite oddly enough, I've had quite a bit of enjoyable contact this season with Joe Black. No, for some really weird reason, which does not sound right at all. But but yeah, we are currently on Marcos. Marcos coming very nicely through back around on turn 1. These guys have made it to lap 2. Interceptor is pulled out with almost a 2-second lead. Bax has fallen down to 3rd. Let me check on him. Yeah, I think that turn 1. I know it's getting me really bad in the radicals. It looked really tough on the BMW guys as well.
Here.
Yep, I just saw that, and he was 100% correct because I completely forgot to unmute stuff. Yeah, I may have to go stand in a corner for a minute.
So I was just muted. Oh, that's
yeah, the game volume and everything was all. I had muted it, or I think I muted the game volume while we were covering the stats. The desktop volume should not have been muted though, or I know exactly why it was muted. So I'm not used to doing this one with someone else. I usually just have it muted. Yeah, that's all completely on me, y'all. When the race is over, I've got a corner, and I will spend 1 hour with my nose in the corner. For my punishment for this. Wow. Yeah, I'm really embarrassed.
And no need for that. It's okay. I mean, it was just practice. It was just practice between me and Jukebox. We were, checking out our synergy, that kind of stuff. And it was working out well, so...
yeah, it was totally on purpose.
Of course it was. Yeah. We never do anything accidentally, ever. But to answer your previous questions, Chef, yeah, I'm not in the GT1 race because unfortunately my internet is terrible and does not allow me to stay in this lobby for more than 17 seconds. So I decided, hey ho, I'll just hang out with Jukebox in the commentary box, giving some insight. So yeah, that's why I'm here. Bax has he's caught up a position. He's now 3rd, but in terms of time, he's really not being you know, sort of impressive, or as impressive as I would have expected, really.
Yeah, he's a little off of his qualifying pace at the moment.
And of course, as I say that, he's faster than Interceptor right away. All right, I appreciate that, Bax. And not only he beat me in the championship, but he also had to make me look like a fool. Thank you.
Yeah, so we are currently with Interceptors in the lead with a 2-second lead at the moment. He got a really good start. Marcos not far behind in second. Bax is still about 2 seconds behind Marcos, but it looks like he's really trying to close the gap. And I'm going to skip a bunch of people and go back here to McCaleb, because McCaleb is reeling in Agulator. But Bowie seems to have been... Bowie seems to be having a really hard time. He's down at the back. I'm not going to put the camera on him at the moment. I'm going to let him recover some first, I think.
Yeah, I believe that a 1 minute 41 gap to the leader on lap 4 only can mean one thing, which is he had a crash and had to pit for repairs, unfortunately. So,
which is very unfortunate. Bowie's been having some really good races. Yeah, and I was talking about I think a little earlier. Yeah, there are so many of y'all that I watched race. You, Bowie, Agulator, Cypher Knight, Interceptor, Agulator. I can remember watching all of y'all for at least, I believe, 2 seasons before I ever even joined GAVRA Racing. So y'all are all definitely some seniors here.
yeah, there's some guys that have been here for just such a long time, and in the case of especially the HLV guys, they've been so, I would almost say loyal. They never miss races. If they do, they always have replacements. You know, I'm talking about the HLB guys, but that is true for many people. You mentioned Agulator, Javier runs.
Speaking of
Agulator,
Agulator has McCaleb right on top of him right now. Which Agulator's also actually managing to catch up with Cypher Knight, so we've got a little bit of a 3-way battle going on here.
Oh, buddy.
It looks like Agulator is definitely trying to take a little bit more of the inside line to try to stay defensive from McCaleb, but McCaleb almost went a little wide. He did manage to hold on to it. Yeah, these 3 right here are fixing to really heat it up, I think. But now they're scaring me coming into turn 1. Yeah, Sig, I have to admit, turn 1 on this track is very scary for me.
It is very scary, especially if, again, that outside curve, it's just waiting out to catch you off and just drag you off the track. Many curves on this track are like that, mainly turn 1, the one at Spoon, and the one at 130R.
Oh. Yeah, didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, Agulator went a little bit wide, sure. And McCaleb did manage to get in front of him. And McCaleb is still within 1 second of Cypher Knight at the moment. Yeah, these 3 are... I think this is going to be our main battles for the night. Right here at the back.
I believe the group... Oh yeah, I've just seen it now. Obviously, you're ahead of me in time, so... if there is anything worth noting or worth mentioning, of course you have all rights to cut me off, whatever I'm saying. But yeah, I believe the group and the field in general will split in 2 ways. I would say we've got the first, I would say, 5 people on the same pace. Or mostly on the same pace anyway, and then we've got 4 more guys that are gonna be competing for
McCaleb's trying
positions.
to go for the outside. Is he gonna make it? They're trying. McCaleb, Agulator were both side by side coming into turn 1. looks like McCaleb did manage to get out in front of him. He managed to actually get in front of Cypher Knight as well. So now the battle behind him is Cypher Knight and Agulator. Yeah, wow, those guys were going down through there. I was actually having a hard time figuring out who was who there for a minute, Sig, going into turn one. They had me nervous. I was really nervous going side by side into that turn.
I mean, it's every time you go side by side through turn one, especially here, it really is a heart-stopping moment. I believe we lost somebody.
Yeah, I believe we did. We are down to 7, and McCaleb got a little bit wide and allowed Cypher Knight to catch back up to him a little bit. But Cypher Knight still is receiving massive pressure from Agulator. Yeah, on the turn one, when I watched the last lap when these guys went through turn one, I watched, and all 3 of them had a separate line that they were taking through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a variety of lines that you can take into turn one. It definitely is a corner that opens up and allows for different approaches. It looks like we've lost, unfortunately, Snaker and Bowie. So 2 people out already from this race. Down to 7 people, unfortunately. But hey ho, the first 3 guys are really close together, so...
Yeah, I'm going to move the camera up there and look at them, because at the moment it doesn't look like Agulator is going to let Cypher Knight go. I think this is going to be a very long battle for these guys. Yeah, Marcos is closing the gap up to Interceptor a little bit there.
Definitely looks like so. The last lap times for the pair, Interceptor clocked in at 136.3. Meanwhile, Marcos clocked in at 135.4, 9/10 faster just the last lap.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, the top 4 are really right on top of each other, all of them in the 135s. Let me check in on Cypher Knight, and we do have someone around behind Cypher Knight. I believe that I'm not sure who that was. Let's see if I can figure that out. Okay, it was Agulator. Had a little trouble coming out of the turn and had turned it around. But Cypher Knight and McCaleb still going at it. And
definitely is a battle that we can expect to last for the whole race, really.
I think it is. Kind of like Chef on the feed, not gonna let me forget about unmuting everything. No, but yeah, no, I'm just picking on you, Chef. Kev, it's good to see you in the chat too. Glad to have you guys aboard and watching the race. And who am I currently on? Yep, Cypher Knight. Like I said, Cypher Knight is one of our fellow commentators. Covers the Radical race on Friday with Dutch Muso. Y'all make sure you tune in for that. That championship is really heating up as well. There's a lot of guys really close in points. And I think AA Razy is giving it a hell of a run. I think he stands a really good chance of taking the win.
He really does. He's been putting in some great races lately to bring him up to the top, or close to the top. Definitely close enough to give him a shot to the title. Hopefully the next few races will be exciting and will give us something to cheer for in the final race. Which is a piece of information for the viewers that are not necessarily involved in GAVRA. The final race for all championship will be held at Sugo, the famous tight Japanese track that I single-handedly and personally picked because I just wanted to relieve the heart-stopping moments of the JGTC or Super GT final races. I thought it would be a cool idea to do so.
I don't think there's anybody out there that would say that they don't like Sugo. And I'm one of those. There's a lot of tracks I don't, and even I like Sugo. Sugo is just a lot of fun. It's got some great turns in it, and that last turn, and you're literally flat out going up the hill for that fast right-hander it's tough to get right, but when you get it right, it feels so good.
Oh yeah, especially in high downforce car. Like, well, I wouldn't say the GT1 is a super high downforce car, but it definitely has a lot. Definitely a lot more than the BMW, I would say.
Oh, definitely. That car does not look like it has any downforce whatsoever.
It does not look like it was manufactured to take into account air at all, but you know.
No, it really doesn't. We do have Bax currently closing in on Marcos. He's doing a hell of a job at it too. He's within the 1 second. He's actually, I believe, about 8/10 off, if I want to try to be a little bit more precise. But Marcos is definitely going to have his hands full keeping Bax off of him, because like you said, Bax has had a fantastic season in this car.
Absolutely.
And I would think that.
Lie.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would lie if I said that I expected him to, you know, step up, but it honestly it was just because I didn't know him. When, you know, a few races into the championship, I knew he was gonna be a serious contender, and oh, here he is with a very, very good shot at clinching the title today. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, if he, depending on how he does today, that could cinch him the title, couldn't it?
That is true. He has to get a 60-point margin over me, essentially, to guarantee himself the championship with 2 rounds to spare.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be tough for him. Sick, you are not by any means someone easy to get by on track. I've done watched you too many times.
I would like to think so. Especially, I think we were talking about that in chat in the Discord server. We're talking about that with Cashnet about, you know, a race we've had last season in LMP2, where we both completely went at it. I was defending super hard, he was attacking super hard, but we never really crossed the line. It always kept it respectful and clean, and that was such an enjoyable race. I still really like, you know, thinking about that race, thinking it was one of the best drives that, well, possibly both of us, me and Cashnet, had. So.
And as y'all can tell on screen, let me go back here to GTS. He's in the back. He is in 4th. GTS is within 1 second of Bax, and Bax is still within 1 second of Marco. So we've got they're not quite in a heated battle, but there's no way I could sit in either one of their driver's seats and be comfortable at the moment. My nerves would definitely be on edge.
That is true. Marcus and Bax have had very slow laps the last time around, both in the 37s.
Yeah, they really haven't. GTS with the 135, he's really starting to catch up to him and put the pressure on him.
One thing that we really have to keep in mind is the different tire strategies that might come into play. Many times in the seasons, we've had different guys opt for different strategies as when it comes to tires. We've had guys going on softs in the same race when other guys have gone on hards on the front. Some people have got hards on 4 corners, you know. Definitely a lot of variety in strategies, so we might see that coming to play as the race goes on.
Yeah, it looks like Bowie might be trying to get in, but Bowie, if you're watching, we won't we're not gonna not do your interview. If you want to hang out, watch the race, and you still want to jump into the booth at the end of the race and do an interview, then I still will be thrilled to interview you, because like I said, you're one of the few people, along with Sig, that has come to realize that the chatting on the Discord is actually super easy. For me, it's easier to get on and chat on the Discord through the Discord channel than it is the PlayStation anymore.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm steady trying to get the drivers not scared of it, Sig. I feel like some of them, because they are, and a lot of us are still so new to the Discord, that maybe some of the drivers are just maybe a little iffy about, how it works. But I keep trying to tell them it's
definitely understandable.
So easy. Oh yeah, definitely understandable, because it's something new. And there's a lot of buttons on Discord.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, for one, I'll pick on Joe because banter lord. But like when he first joined, I remember him just not being able to do anything at all, and like in a matter of, I don't know, maybe even like weeks.
It did not
like
take him
got
long.
Familiar. Yeah, it definitely did not. Admittedly, he's had a mishaps that will not be mentioned.
But they are pinned.
They are pinned, definitely. They will definitely stay there for the eternity. I will not have them unpinned anytime soon. So yeah, it's all very easy. And
Marcos made a little bit of a mistake and let Bax get a little bit closer to him. Can Bax get close enough in this turn for a move? I think he's still just a little too far out for it. Yeah, he's still just a little too far out, but he did manage to get on up. He's within, well, he was within about one car length of him for a second there. Marcos had he let one of his back tires touch the grass, and it slowed him down just a little bit.
Just a bit loose coming off Spoon Corner. I just saw that on my stream.
Yep.
We're seeing some tire wear already with the first few guys getting in the 37s already. Less than half an hour into the race, they're gonna have to try and
Bax and GTS are really on top of each other. Oh, not Bax and GTS. We have GTS is close to Bax, but we have Bax and Marcos. We're literally right on top of each other at the moment there. Yeah. I always feel like I'm cutting you off, Sig. I know you keep telling me I'm not.
So.
Yeah.
You've got full permission to do so. You've got more important stuff on screen than I do right now, because I see stuff that people have already seen. Oh, they are seeing right now, but I'm 20 seconds behind at least.
Yeah, these three are not letting each other go at all, Sig. Marco's second, Bax in third, GTS in third. All three of them are still right there on top of each other.
Also, I just wanted to point out, I believe Mike had to pit for damage or for repairs, because he's dropped back all the way to 7th place, but he's been catching the guys ahead by a lot of, by a good margin, so we might see another battle for, I'm gonna say 5th, 6th, and 7th position. Really?
I agree with you. I think so. As I've been covering y'all throughout. who was that? Was that GTS? Oh, GTS lost it in turn 1. It looked like his rear just got away from him there, and he spun it out. I hated to see him do that. These three have really been slugging it out, but I think it's going to come back to that tire wear you were talking about, Sig.
Absolutely. Here it comes. Sig replay, provided by the fact that I just am 20 seconds back. Ooh, that's a nasty spin.
Yeah.
He might have just got on the curb, a bit too aggressive on the outside curb, and half spun. He's back in the mix already. Nothing will stop him anytime soon. I'm gonna save that.
Yeah, no, it looked like it only cost him about 2 seconds, so he's definitely still in the mix. And Bax is steady trying to get around Marcos. I've seen him a couple of times now. He's tried to get himself set up for the move, but just isn't quite in the position to do it. But the pressure is really working on Marcos. In the last couple of laps, I've seen Marcos get just a tad wide, touch the grass per se, a couple of times. So yeah, he's definitely feeling the heat from Bax.
It really does take nerves of steel and something else of steel to keep Bax behind. And the way Marcus has been racing, he's really been showing off what he's made of.
Yeah, you see right now, as Bax almost had the move for the inside, but it looked like he decided it was a little too dangerous. And for me, I'm finding all of the turns on this track are passing opportunities, but they're all extremely high risk.
That is true, because on this
Marcos
version,
has gone wide. Bax has gone by. GTS has now caught up with Marcos. Yeah, pressure definitely taking effect, and like you said, Sig, the tires. I have a little bit of preview of tires on my screen, which I'm not going to show everybody else, but I get a teeny bit of preview of what their tires are looking at, like, and yeah, you'll see in just a second, GTS he got the curb once again, which has now opened up quite a gap for Bax and Marcos. Bax has 2.5 lead over Marcos. Marcos with almost a 5 seconds now over GTS. GTS is going to have to push really hard to catch back up with Marcos now.
Oh, I've just seen GTS spin. That's definitely what we were talking about. The curbs being extremely treacherous on here. Yes, Kev, unfortunately, Bowie and Snake are both disconnected, and we're left with 7 people, which does not mean it will be a boring race, because the 7 people that are left are really close between them. Between each other, let's say. Well, really, with the exception of Interceptor just flying off into the distance, still clocking 36s.
I'm gonna put the camera on him for a second. Yeah, he's up to a 13.5 second lead at the moment. But now,
that is a huge gap.
I have to say, as I've been covering y'all through these seasons, I've noticed y'all tend to be really close during the middle, or during the first of the race, and then about in the middle of the race, when the pit strategy really starts taking effect, y'all seem to close back up and get a lot of tight battles, and then it spaces back out, and then y'all have always had me literally on the edge of my seat for the last few laps.
That is true. It's really just the way the races are shaped. With the first stint where you obviously start together, so you are always close together. And then after that, pace, really the differences in pace sort of show up, and you get gaps that widen, gaps that close, that kind of stuff. But then the stops really have a big effect on your gap to the people around you. You can gain a lot of time by really nailing the pit strategy in terms of how much fuel you're putting in, what tires you're gonna go on to for your next stint. It really is tough to think about those things in the middle of a race, but at the same time, the reward is very, very big when you get it right.
Yeah, I've seen some incredible pit strategies out of all of y'all with the GT1s. Like all the way down to I've seen some of y'all will stay out late for the first and then maybe take a early second pit. But it seems like y'all have been doing a great job on trying to time that last pit so that your last stint, you're really out there the longest and you just don't have to come in at all. And I've seen a few of the guys, it really hurt them in the race. They ended up kind of in that middle ground where it looked like they tried to time it out, but once it got down to about, you know, lap 15 or 10 laps left, somewhere right in there, they just didn't have any choice. They had to pit, and it cost them a lot compared to the guys that had. To me, it looked like y'all are very meticulously timing some of y'all's pits out.
Absolutely, you have to be pinpoint accurate for your pit stops, because this car it uses a lot of fuel. So your refuel pit window is somewhat limited. So a skill that you'll have to definitely learn and master is trying to save your tires as much as you can, so that you can stay out for as long as possible or as long as you need to, so that you only have to pit once and still have good times on old tires.
Oh, was that? Yep, that was Marcos. Marcos went around the back. He was right there behind GTS, and yeah, I don't even think it looked like he got the gas a little too hard. From what I'm seeing on my screen, I'm not gonna show. I don't want to tell everybody watching, because I know some of the drivers are watching, what everyone's tires are doing, but Sig, I'm noticing a huge difference in some of these guys' tire temperatures. Some of these guys are literally riding on bricks, and some of them look to have some very nice sticky rubber that they're on.
Yeah, that's Marcus going wide again, isn't it? Yeah, I've just seen it on my stream, unfortunately. And Bax has pitted.
Yeah, Bax
missed that.
I saw him in the pit. I think he went ahead. Yes, he went ahead and pitted early. He's now back up to 76 liters of fuel. I think Bax may be one of them that I think, kind of like I was talking about it. I think he pits early so that he doesn't have to worry about it. I guess I'm doing a horrible job of trying to explain it.
The thing is, these guys, they've obviously been told.
Oh no! Oh, Bax really lost it around the corner, and he really drilled the wall with the rear of his car. He's gonna have to go back through the pit. I'll get the camera off of you, Bax. That was terrible.
That's the worst possible thing that could have happened to him. I crashed just after he pitted. Let me see. Oh no, the curb at 130R.
Yeah.
That's a terrible hit. It's gonna. Ooh, careful.
But we are seeing. It looks like some of the other guys, because they're seeing some of them pit, are trying to go ahead and following suit. GTS went ahead. He was gone on in and pit and went with. Oh wow, he went completely up with fuel. Yep, Marcos has gone in the pit. I believe we had about 3 or 4 of them through there. I'll go up here to Interceptor and I'll have a look at everybody's fuel, and that'll tell us who has and hasn't.
Though the thing is, Juke, these guys, they've been told, by me, that in the 3rd slot of this race, we're gonna have rain. So they might be trying out to time out, you know, when they're actually gonna have to swap over to rain tires, so that they'll have enough fuel that they don't have, you know, to make 2 more pit stops when it actually, you know, has to rain.
Yeah. Sig, I have to admit, I have forgot all about you telling me that these guys had a very strong chance of rain at the end of this race. So we're gonna see some huge change up then.
Yeah, of course, because they might be looking. You were very rightly mentioning the difference in temperature of tires between a few guys. Some guys had them very cold, so we can hypothesize they were on hard tires, planning to do a longer stint. Some other guys who had very nice sticky rubber, they might have been on soft tires, which of course degrades very, very quickly, especially on this track, which is very, very hard on front tires.
Oh man, you are not kidding. This track is a tire killer.
It is a bit of a cheese grater in that sense. So the guys that have pitted early might be looking into doing a very short and quick stint on soft tires so that they can time perfectly the time when they'll have to switch over to rain tires. Very, very good strategic move there. We've seen Mike is in the 37s constantly. We see a few guys 43s, 44s obviously still coming out of their pits. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out in terms of strategy when the rain actually comes.
Yeah, I'm on Cypher Knight at the moment. He's made his way up into second. He does still have 26 liters of fuel left, Sig, so kind of like you're saying, I think Cypher Knight is going to try to ride the distance out and try to do the pit only when he has to take fuel and wet tires. If I had to guess on his pit strategy, yeah. I think a couple of the guys seem to be... Yeah, Interceptor is... His fuel is about the same. McCaleb is in the middle on fuel, but GTS very full. Marcos about 3/4. Now Aguilator's still... He's
two different strategies with Interceptor, Cypher Knight, and Mike sort of in the middle. We've got them on a light fuel load now because they haven't pitted yet, while from 4th to 7th position, the guys have pitted already. They're going to be on a heavy fuel load, but they're going to have much, much newer tires. So they're hoping that can sort of cancel out the disadvantage of having a heavier car, So definitely interesting to see how it will all play out in the long run.
And Kev, yeah, I saw you in the chat, man. I wasn't ignoring you. Glad you came back to finish watching the race. Sig is not racing tonight. I was gonna try to come up with something funny, but it didn't happen. Sig's just having trouble with his internet connection, and Sig was awesome enough to come join me here in the commentator's box and cover this race. Which again, Sig, I do enjoy doing the Wednesday by myself, but I cannot thank you enough for jumping in here and joining me.
Oh yeah, man, my pleasure. I thought, why not? If I'm not gonna race, I might as well help Juke out, who's been putting out great content for us all. So there we go. That's my way to thank you about everything you've done here.
Well, my goal is for I want y'all the administrators to like it and the racers to like it. I mean, I know it sounds terrible to say I don't care if anybody else likes it or not, but I honestly don't, as long as the GAVRA team and the GAVRA racers are enjoying the show.
I mean, everyone here at GAVRA, and I believe that everyone here watching, has been having a blast and just couldn't help but notice the amazing amount of effort we've all been putting into improving, or really what is technically our face, because this is what people see. So it's only normal that we put a lot of energy and resources into making this better. Naturally, it's going to be one of the first things that people see about us.
And not to get off topic, Sig, but I think I just saw a raindrop.
Oh, with
So
49 minutes left.
yes, not towards the end of the race as we were thinking at all. This I
I believe you are right.
Now, I'm not as good at the pit strategies as you, especially like you and some of the more experienced drivers, but I'm going to guess that with the rain starting about where it is and at the time with some of the drivers on lower fuel loads like we're seeing, now will that give them a little bit of an advantage over the guys that are carrying the heavier fuel, or...
The thing is, we've got two different strategies right now. As Mike pitted now, so he's now on the same page as everyone from, I believe, from third to seventh. The thing is, Interceptor and Cypher now, by staying out, they're really gambling on the fact that they're gonna have enough fuel to last long enough until they have to put rain tires on. If they cannot do that, it will be a disaster because they'll either have to make 2 stops or they'll destroy their rain tires on a track that's not quite wet yet.
Oh, I did not think about that.
Yeah,
I
on
did
the
not
other
think about that at
hand,
all.
the guys that pitted early, they're guaranteeing themselves, they're committed to a at least a 2-stop strategy, but they are 100% sure that they'll have enough fuel to make it to when they have to put on rain tires. Definitely interesting the way this race is playing out.
It really is. Oh, y'all's pit stops every week. I'm on the edge of my seat, literally, with trying to figure out y'all's pit stops and everything. And of course, Sig, we've got Chef on the live feed. You know how much he loves the rain.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened to Chef. All of a sudden, Chef just turned into like he's just like the rain master. He's just been killing it in the rain and just praying for rain on every track ever since.
I mean, if it was about him, he would say, "Yeah, we're having rain every single race."
Yeah, Joe. Interceptor has got himself a really good gap at the moment. He made a great start, and then what was it? We had second, third, and fourth battled it out for most of the race so far until
Yep.
we did have a little bit of a spin out, but
Yeah, a few mishaps, but it's only normal with this. It's a very tough track, especially with curves being the way they are. Though, as a matter of fact, Joe, Interceptor has not pitted yet, as well as Cypher Knight, who's in second position. But everyone else has. I believe Agulator doesn't have a lot of fuel. I believe he pitted early to fix some damage, so that might be the reason why.
He's got just a little bit more than Interceptor at the moment, though.
I believe so, yeah.
Let's see, and Cypher Knight is actually the lowest fuel runner at the moment. He's all the way down to 10.7 liters.
The way the times are going up, I mean, Bax clocked in at 36 last time around. Like, Interceptor, Cypher Knight, and Agulator really have to pray for a downpour now, or they will have to put on rain tires and hope they don't destroy them on a track that's not wet yet.
Yeah, it looks like Chef is predicting he thinks they've got about 5 or 6 more laps until they need to get the rain tires, but I
That
think I'm kind
is,
of with. I don't know. I'm a little with you, Sig. It's just being slow to actually start raining good.
I mean, that's the way it should be, as well as in real life. It's a complete downpour. The train, the track gets, a few laps. It takes a few laps for the track to get properly wet. Um, I believe Chef has not made too bad of a guess. It usually takes, 5 laps or so from when it starts raining,
Oh, we're
to
seeing a
when you
gamble though, Sig.
actually.
Sorry to cut you
Oh,
off, but yep, we got Interceptor is going through the. Well, we've got several things going on. Bax is catching up with Marcos, but I want to go in here check on Interceptor. Interceptors came on in the pit, and it looks like that may be Agulator right behind him. I can't tell what tires he's taking, but he definitely filled up with fuel. So I think, Sig, we're right down to that scenario you were talking about with them potentially burning up their rain tires.
I believe so. Yeah, Bax has been catching. He's been doing some fantastic times on a damp track. He must have taken on soft tires, really. I believe those were definitely wet tires for Interceptor. There's no way he puts on slicks now. As well as Agulator, he's been in the pits as well.
Yeah, he's just about to come back out on track, and yeah, he took every bit of fuel he could. He's got 99.8 liters, so he probably couldn't hold another drop in his tank. Yeah, Sig, man, you've got my brain really going now on these guys' strategies and what is going to happen with these guys that just, like you said, they didn't have a choice. They had to pit simply because of
They
fuel.
sure did. Yeah.
And I guess Fana always tells me that spray. He drills in my head the spray off the tires. That once you start, and then that unless you see the spray, not to get the wet tires yet. He always puts it in my head. Fana does a good job at keeping me on a lot of this stuff. But yeah, he insists that until you don't need to worry about them until you see the spray off of the tires, which we definitely are not seeing at all.
I believe that is mostly correct, and we're falling into the scenario where the guys that had to take on fuel on board are going to experience some really tough laps before the track gets wet, and possibly that's gonna give the guys behind a chance to catch up later in the race.
Yes,
we saw Interceptor forming a very, very nice lead. This
Cypher Knight
sort of gamble.
Cypher Knight took a little bit too much off of the inside of one turn, and it kicked him too wide on the exit, and that same curb where it got Bowie early just did the exact same thing to his teammate Cypher Knight. And Cypher Knight was really right on top of Marcos. He was doing really good there and catching up. Oh yeah, Cypher Knight's got some major damage at the moment. I'm going to take the camera off of him.
That's not too bad for him though. I mean, we saw that is a whole lot of damage and it's going to take a long time to repair. But we saw the opposite scenario. We've seen Bax having to pit right for damage right after he had his pit stop already. Here, we're seeing the exact opposite because I don't think Cypher Knight would have been able to make another lap on fuel. So it's the best time for him that could have possibly have happened.
Oh, that's right. He was the last driver to still be out without pitting, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. He was among our low-fueled runners. He was the one that had more fuel, or the most fuel. We're also seeing Marcus in the pits. I believe he's gone on to take some rain tires as the rain has got heavier. Windshield wiper on. Times have Interceptor with a couple of bad laps. We've seen him clocking a 48 and now 43. GTS recovering by 6 seconds that last lap.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head with the rain tires being just a little too early on him. I mean, I can see on my screen he's got some really warm tires. His tires are good and hot, but I can't see any kind of wear or exactly what tire he's running. All I can do is just it just tells me the temperatures of their tires, basically.
I mean, unfortunately, we can only guess, but I'm gonna go out my way and say that these are fairly, I wouldn't even say cautious, but certain guesses. Like if you're pitting now, you're obviously gonna take on wet tires because you know the track is gonna get more wet. Mike HLB and Cypher are still in the pits. Obviously, Interceptor still was in time, I believe. Though we know that GTS, definitely GTS, backs, and not sure what tires Aguilator got on. They're most likely gonna have to bid again. I'm sure 100% about GTS and Bax.
Bax is coming through the pit again right now as we speak. As soon as you said Bax might have to pit, he was turning in. Sig, that was fantastic.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna take tires, or is he? He may just. I know the animation on the pit stop gets a little funny at times, and sometimes they change the tires and they don't actually show us them changing tires.
Yeah. Though, look at that.
But yeah, he definitely
taking off 3 seconds that last lap off of Interceptor's times.
And I think I finally saw a little bit of spray off of Yep, there's a little bit of spray finally off of Interceptor's tires. So I guess this will definitely let us know, or should let us know, what tires he chose earlier. So I guess we could assume if he pits. No, he's not pitting. Okay. I was gonna say if we can assume if he pits again pretty soon, then we can assume he took slicks. If he doesn't, then he took the wets. But I think he's definitely taking the wets.
From now on, definitely guess that whoever pits from this moment on, they've got slick tires on currently, and they'll have to take on some rain tires.
And yeah, and since I can see his tire temperature, I can now tell that since the rain is actually starting to come down, he's got a little bit of water actually under his tires. His tires were definitely extremely hot the last couple of laps, and they're now managing to cool back off and I guess give him a little bit more grip.
GTS hitting the pits.
Oh, and he's got plenty of fuel. So
that's definitely a tire stop.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That's a shame, Snaker. I'm just reading in chat what I believe that is Snaker in the chat, saying unfortunately he got disqualified as he forgot to turn on the limiter. Unfortunately, because Project Cars 2 is very, very harsh on this type of things.
Yes, it is. What is Schiff saying? Oh, Schiff is saying that now Interceptor has his gap back. Yeah, Interceptor is. Oh wow, yep. Interceptor all the. Yeah, I guess when GTS had to pull that last pit, that put Interceptor. My God, 54 seconds out in front.
Yeah, that's the time of a pit stop. GTS had to take. He has 2 stops currently done. Interceptor only had to make one. So although he might have had a few hard laps, and he might suffer heavier wear at the end of the race, it took one less pit stop, which in Project Cars 2 amounts to a whole lot of time.
Oh yeah, the rain is really starting to come down now, Sig.
We can expect times to go up a lot.
But it
Especially
did hold off.
Well,
I was gonna say it held off to about the last 30 minutes before it started really pouring down.
I mean, that's sort of what we expected, I would say, because we have 3 slots, and the last one, slot number 3, was rain. And it came at about, what, 40 minutes left?
Yeah, I believe that sounds about right when it started kicking in.
With times 2 weather progression, that is just about what we expected. So predictable there.
Yeah, and now just to clarify, while I have someone on here that understands it, I understand it pretty good, and I know you understand it perfectly. But just for some of the viewers, now when we have it not, the weather is not synced to the race. It is a 2 times progression, so the drivers know the weather is going to change. But you only have, kind of like you just pointed out, we kind of have a ballpark of when the weather is going to change. So you can't plan your pit strategy out and say, no, we're running 30 laps and I know it's going to start raining on lap 20. That
is very true. There's sort of a window in which you know it will start raining, that the drivers can use to plan strategy, which was the case for a few guys. We saw a few guys pitting early in the hopes that rain would be delayed.
Oh no, so sorry to interrupt you, but we got GTS in the pit again. I believe he must be suffering from a pit glitch. I think he's having a hard time getting wets on his car.
Oh no.
Which I know I've suffered from that one before, and it's a terrible one, but it does happen. Personally, I like to blame I don't blame the game. I just say my pit crew was drunk and couldn't do their job. I don't know. I feel better yelling at my pit crew than I do the game. I don't know why.
I mean, if you asked me, I would say the exact opposite. Really, I would say strong opinions about the developers of this game now. Unfortunately, some things cannot really be predicted, and you just have to deal with them, which is a real shame for GTS. He was running so well in 2nd place.
Yeah, and I'm from his multiple pit stops. That's what I'm thinking has happened to him, because it just. I've been in at least one race where I can remember going through the same routine with the multiple pit stops, and it didn't look like he was carrying any damage, and we know he has plenty of fuel. So, yeah, I'm assuming that he's having trouble getting his pit crew to actually give him some wets.
His last lap was a 4 minutes 5. I might assume that he might have just got some damage somewhere, because 4 minutes, one long lap, including a pit stop. That is a very, very long time. We'll definitely head over to him after the race to ask him what happened there.
And yeah, I currently have the camera on Bax, who has made his way back up into 2nd. I don't know if he'll ever catch Interceptor with that 1 minute gap. I think Interceptor would have to make a huge mistake. But Bax is on a hell of a run, though.
Yeah, he's been lapping consistently much, much faster than Interceptor has been, and that makes me think that Interceptor's tires might be suffering from bad tire wear already. They might be degrading already. We've also seen, like, if you think about what happened in the race, I mean, Interceptor only had one stop, whereas Bax
Oh,
had
his
to do.
Interceptor got wide in turn 1.
Oh,
It doesn't look like it cost him too bad. But yeah, it definitely, it looked like the rain just drug him right on off the track there, Sig.
we also have to take in account puddles. They are a very big part of this game, and they are deadly here. If you hit one, oh boy, I just saw something like yeah. If you hit one and you're not prepared for it, you're gonna go off flying into a barrier. Yeah, I mean, if you think about where Bax was, I think he made 3 pit stops, whereas Interceptor made 1. So just in that, and Bax had to repair some damage. So like, Bax really has shown some excellent pace in this phase of the race. That's staggering.
Yeah, he really has. He's gone from up. Well, he was in first, and we saw him fall back during the first of the race, and he fell back, like you said, almost all the way to the end. Got damaged, hit several times. He's actually fought his way back up towards the top. I believe this is it the second or the third time this race he's battled his way back to the top.
I believe so, yeah.
I believe it's at least the second. It could possibly be the third.
That is true. I mean, he really does want to win the championship today, doesn't he? He really wants to beat me, though. Please don't. I mean, like, I think we're set for an incredible finale right here, dude. We're it's gonna be really close because Interceptor's tires are gonna fall off before Bax's, but we don't quite know if Bax has enough fuel. There's definitely a lot of questions to be answered in the race.
Bax is comparable to fuel off of Interceptor, but y'all's fuel usage on these cars, because like you said, that y'all do use a lot of fuel in these cars. I have still, even it's getting all the way down to the end of the season, and I still have not quite nailed down how much fuel y'all go through throughout the race, but y'all definitely go through a lot.
Yeah, it's a big thirsty V8, naturally aspirated. No, I believe it is turbocharged. Actually, this version. I would have to double check. But it definitely uses up a lot of fuel. I believe for a normal race distance, we take on about 170 or 180 liters of fuel, just about in that range.
Yeah, that's pretty massive compared to the somewhere around about 66 liters we need in the Radical.
And definitely different cars. The Radical, a much lighter car, half as many cylinders in the engine. Doesn't have to push as much through air. So definitely different types of cars, really.
Joe, yeah, no, I think Joe's scared to type on the YouTube chat. He's scared his frog will come up. No, Joe, I agree with Chef Joe. No frogs on YouTube, man.
There's not a command for that yet on YouTube. There's not a podcast command. I'm not sure if we can handle this.
Looking into creating us some bots and stuff is one of the things I want to try to look into in between the seasons if you want to get together on it. Because I know we can make a bunch of. I know it's supposed to be pretty easy to make a bunch of bots and stuff for the chat. I just haven't had the time to sit down and go through and actually read about it and get an understanding of it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely easier than what it looks like. So that's all good. We're gonna figure it out.
Yep, but now, I just want to confirm, since I do have an administrator on here, and I think I said something twice about it already this week, and since I've already put my foot in my mouth and said something on the stream about it, since I have an administrator, just to confirm, we do have a GAVRA Christmas Cup coming up. Is that correct?
That is very correct, we do. I posted some information about it in the announcement channel of our Discord server. It is essentially going to be a small championship. It's gonna span over 4 weeks, in which we're gonna visit 8 tracks in total. So 2 weeks. 2 tracks per week. We're gonna use rallycross cars and twist. We're gonna race on ice. Among other things, Project Cars 2 allows for the season to be modified for it to be snow season. That allows us to basically cover the whole track in ice, and that just makes for some fun driving. Hopefully many people will join us. I know it will. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, I want to see. I hope a lot of people sign up for that, because if any of the other commentators, y'all try to volunteer to cover for that, to commentate on those, we may actually fight over that.
You know what, Juke? I think that
I want to cover that. That is going to be amazing to watch y'all run around on those cars in ice.
Yeah.
Especially knowing the talent. It wouldn't be that great if I didn't know the talent that was gonna be out there. Oh, as Agulator does go wide, looked like he was trying to avoid the puddle that Sig was talking about. That looked like he was trying to avoid a puddle in one of the apexes, and it just took him a little too wide.
Yeah, there's definitely a few bad puddles. A very bad one is at Dagner 2, which is, I believe, where Agulator is coming up now. Oh yeah, that is correct.
Yep.
There's a very, very big puddle at Dagner 2, and you're gonna go around if you dare hit that. Gaps have sort of stabilized so far. We've got, well, the closest battle really is Mike HLD and Marcos HLD.
Yeah, they really are the closest at the moment. But anybody watching, don't think that says anything. This track is, oh wow, as Michaela managed to plow right through that puddle with ease. That, I don't know what to say about that. I've raced this track in the rain, and I'd always do like Agulator. I go really wide around that turn to avoid it, but Michaela just, it didn't bother him a bit. He aimed right for that puddle and plowed right through it.
I mean, if you've got your car set up high enough, you can definitely get away with it. The thing is, it takes preparation. You'll have to know that it rains, and you'll have to make good changes. For your setup to work both in the rain and in the dry. So if it's done that, good job on it.
Oh, Sig, have you looked in the chat?
I have. Joe, I'm sorry. There's no escape. There's no escape from Pepe the Frog. I'm sorry, Joe. You know,
yeah, I can't help but to laugh like hell about it. And the chef just had to get on there and find a frog.
I mean, shout out to Bowie, because he created that idea. I mean, we
It
all
is a
love
good meme.
memes.
It's a
It
really
is
good
a very
meme.
good meme. We've definitely had very good ones, some very good ones, in the last couple of weeks. I see you, Joe. Juke, I was thinking about something to sort of reward the people that are watching the stream right now. You've mentioned, rightly so, the championship that we're gonna have this winter, the Christmas Cup. And I was wondering if people in the stream would like a sort of preview about what's coming up.
I had thought about trying to put together some type of little preview or something for people to look at, and yeah, we could definitely get together and put something together for the guys to see, because I think a little publicity for that will definitely not hurt. That's gonna be, it's gonna be such amazing fun to watch.
If you look into a chat, the one at the top, I've put something for you in the Discord.
Sure.
There is something that I had prepared already, admittedly.
All right. Yes. You'll have to excuse me for just I'm gonna start getting a little quiet on and off here, Sig. This is about the time that I usually try to start getting everybody's names loaded in for their first, second, and third. It's not a great podium for everybody watching. I haven't designed y'all a fantastic podium, but I have something to represent a podium and give the 3 winners some acknowledgement at the end of the race. But this is usually a time where I start trying to get those loaded in, because this is where they always get me messed up. They always change right there at the end, and I hope they do it too. I want to see some change between second and third right here at the end. I'm going to load all y'all's names in, and I want to see just how bad y'all can keep me confused.
I mean, I'll do my best to keep on going with the commentary.
I won't be completely quiet. Just if you hear me.
No problem.
Yeah.
Currently, the best battle we've got on track right now is between Marcus and Mike. Mike has really been catching up the last few laps, although he's had a very slow last lap in 1:49. Mike HLB really out teammate. It's not really his teammate, but the HLB guys are really close together. They always race together. Dax, meanwhile, has been chipping away at Interceptor's lead.
Yeah, he really has. Joe just said something about that on the feed. I don't know if he can catch him or not, Sig, but he is definitely doing a fantastic job of whittling that time on down.
55 seconds the gap now. I believe Bax is on average about half a second to 7/10 quicker than Interceptor. Though on the other end, Interceptor can just afford to cruise to the end really right now. 16 minutes remaining. He knows that with the way things are right now, Bax will not catch him. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on, but I believe Interceptor's got it under control.
I do too. I think Interceptor, I don't think we're going to see him change spots there. I think he's got him a very solid and a very well-deserved first place going on. He really managed to get out in front of everybody at the first of the race.
That's true. I mean, he was almost a lap down, I would say, and then came back through, basically pace alone. He just shows some amazing pace tonight, whether like that being the white or the dry. That's he just showed some fantastic pace.
Yeah, it looks like Marcos and Caleb are gonna do a great job of keeping me on my toes with getting the podium set up for them right here at the end of the race, Sig.
I believe you're. I believe you just want to hang on to it. It's a tiny bit longer. Michael Chilby has been catching Marcos the last few laps, so.
I did. It's not too bad. I just load both of their names on in, and then at the last second I have to figure out which one's which.
As we've said before, everyone's sort of spread out now, with Interceptor retaining a 52-second lead on Bax. Marcos 1 minute 37 behind. Mike just behind him, with Aguilator 2 minutes and 6 seconds behind, so that is 1 lap down. GTS also 1 lap down, 2 minutes 26. Oh, that is Marcus going off. Marcus went off, I believe. I believe he just hit the wall on the exit of Degner. I just saw him go very wide. I don't know if he hit the wall. He definitely hit the grass. And he goes wide again at Spoon. Oh, buddy.
From my view, it looks like they've got it under control, but yeah, Marcos definitely got the move there, and Marcos is definitely in front of. Oh, we have someone, I believe that is. Oh, that was my man Cypher Knight that spun round. Cypher Knight has been having a really good race, though. Sig, it looks like this track is just about literally flooded on these guys at the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't say it's just a thing about Project Cars 2's track model. The puddles just they are nasty. They just never stop filling up, and it makes for really tough driving in some places off the track. We've seen huge puddles for just on the apex of Dagner too, and in just many other places, really.
Yeah, but I do have to admit, Project Cars 2 has flaws, and some of them drive me very crazy. But their weather system and the behavior of the weather, I think, is just incredible.
I mean, one thing that definitely is in favor of Project Cars 2, and I believe is like the main reason why it was very successful on PS4, is just the variety of content this game has to offer in terms of tracks, in terms of cars, in terms of weather conditions, in terms of I would say like multi-class stuff you can do. As much as I like to bash on it for many of the flaws this game has, you definitely have to give it to Slightly Mad Studios. They've put together one hell of a game. I mean,
really did.
In what other game can you use a Can-Am car from the 70s on ice?
Well, and one of the things I love about the Project Cars games is I guess it's what you would call the sandbox, being just, you want to use it, there it is. It's not like a lot of the other the other race games out there where it's you have to literally level yourself. Oh, as Caleb does get a little bit too much to the inside. It looked like a puddle chunked him over to the inside there, but he did a great job of holding it onto it.
Oh, that was... I think I've just seen it coming off what should be Dunlop curve. Marcus got on the inside real bad. Oh, that is Marcus going to white again.
Yep.
Oh,
But
you guys have already seen that. I'm just seeing it right now. That is Marcus making a couple of mistakes and really hindering Mike HLB's chances of passing him.
yeah, and from on my screen, it looks like everybody has bricks for tires at the moment. It looks like everybody's tires are just cold as could be and hard as rocks.
There's a lot of rain right now, and it's gonna be really hard to find the grip. And like, if you cannot find the grip in the first place, you cannot put hint into your tires. You'll have even less grip, and you'll not be able to put, more temperature into the tires, and it's a vicious cycle that really just ends up with you spinning off into a barrier, most likely.
Yep.
Which hopefully these guys will not do.
Yeah, no, especially only just under 9 minutes left in the race. Yeah. Cypher Knight is in the Knight's in the pit. Looks like he is taking some tires. He may have ate through his tires and had to get some more, but he's also getting fuel. It looks like the timing of the rain may have thrown a monkey wrench into Cypher Knight's pit strategy.
I mean, we've seen him pit for damage just as he was running out of fuel. He might not have had the correct fuel strategy set, for the rest of the race. Yeah, more wet tires going on it. That's definitely.
But yeah, like I was saying, I like the just the sandbox play style to the project cars as opposed to the other ones, where I like some of the other racing games, but I have to admit it drives me insane to have to level up to unlock a car or a track so I can race it.
That is definitely an argument, and even not taking that argument into account. For example, if you go and look at Assetto Corsa, you can say that it does have a lot of content, and it does, but it is on PC because you need to download mods created by the community, and some of them are just absolutely fantastic. But obviously, on PS4, those are not available, and you have to rely on the content put out by the developer. And I have to say that there's definitely not as much variety as in Project Cars 2. Definitely in terms of cars, and also in terms of tracks. I'm positive in saying that, and I believe that is like fully the reason why Project Cars 2 was successful. Really, just the sheer variety of content it was able to offer to its audience.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of the only. Some people are going to get mad at me for saying this, and y'all are just going to have to get mad. You get mad,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. But I was going to say that in Project Cars 2 is one of, if not the only, true sim for the consoles. Past it, you really got to go to the PC and do like the iRacing or something like that.
I mean, I would say that in terms of simulation, Assetto Corsa still has an edge.
Now, I've heard that they have, from a lot of people, I've heard they have the absolute best force feedback. I've heard that from a lot of people.
I mean, I think that if we started arguing about that, we could end in like an endless loop.
Oh, yeah.
I believe, like, in terms of fidelity and simulation, Assetto Corsa has an edge. So, on one hand, Assetto Corsa is the better simulator. On the other hand, Project Cars is the better game, uh, as it has a lot more content, a lot more variety, a lot more variety.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little
So,
bit of a distortion from your mic there. I'm sure you'll hear it on the feed on the broadcast in just a second. The only thing I could guess is maybe your internet might have been lagging just a little bit or something there, but no, I didn't want to let you keep on going without telling you that we were picking up a little bit of the distortion from you. Oh, and hopefully we didn't lose.
Okay.
Oh, no, there he is. Okay.
Am I back? Am I back?
Yep.
All
Yep.
right, I'm back.
I thought I'd lost. I was scared there for a second. I thought we might have lost you. Yeah, the Discord chat works really good, but every so often it does get a little.
No, it's just my internet.
You're at the internet, yeah.
Yeah, I lost the stream and everything. You couldn't see why I couldn't race, huh?
Yeah, no. Hopefully you'll be able to get. They'll have all your stuff done, and they'll get that fixed for you soon. And these guys are down to the last 3 minutes of this race. Interceptor still in first with a 44-second lead. Bax is really running him down, though. I don't think he'll manage to catch him, but he's giving it a hell of a shot, and he should definitely not let up. He needs to keep going, just like you're going, Bax. You're running. Marcos is in third. McCaleb is sitting in fourth. Agulator in fifth. GTS 6th, and Cypher Knight is in 7th. I think all of these guys have had a great race tonight on an incredibly tough track.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen some mistakes, we've seen some action, but it is to be expected with such a tough track. And a tough car, really, because it really is, in treacherous conditions. You really have to give it to these guys. They've been well, really good at managing their difficulties. Whatever has happened to them, they've faced it and really just overtook it. If you'll excuse my probably poor pun. I would say they've done a great job.
Yeah, no, and these cars they're actually pretty fragile on y'all, aren't they?
They definitely are, especially on the aero side of things. A small hit, a small amount of damage could see you lose your front end completely. Oh, Cypher Knight just had a spin on that famous puddle. I just saw that on my stream now, but as I was saying, a small hit could lose you a whole lot of downforce, and you'll be stuck, and you won't be able to do anything but pit to repair that. So that is definitely something to look out for.
Yeah,
I believe that was Interceptor actually just lapping Cypher Knight. Interceptor coming on to start his final lap now.
Yes, I guess it is the last 30 seconds, so he won't have enough time to get all the way back around, will he? No, not with a minute 54 on his last lap. Yeah, everybody, when Interceptor goes by, make sure you pay attention to just how beautiful Project Cars made this Ferris wheel. and just the
Oh
reflection
yeah.
in the reflection. I've been watching the reflection on the rain on the road, and it is fantastic. Cypher Interceptor, what are you doing?
Uh-oh.
He got really wide there. You weren't supposed to watch the carousel. The viewers were supposed to watch the carousel.
Shiny lights are gonna kill somebody before the end of the race. Somebody throw off the red flag.
Yeah, and I think everybody else is far enough out. I'm gonna stay on Interceptor for his last lap. He has really done a good job, but Bax has managed to get him all the way down to 37 seconds behind him. So Bax has really done a great job at reeling him in.
He has. I mean, we've seen that gap come down from more than a minute to now just 37 seconds after Interceptor's mistake. Though you have to feel for the guy. He had a crash just after he exited the pits, and that really just destroyed his day. I mean, it could have very well been up front fighting with Interceptor, but that stop really slowed him down. Who knows what could have happened if that didn't happen? You know, if Bax didn't crash.
Yep, and Interceptor's giving us a nice flash. He knows he just came across the line. Interceptor, that is a great win. These guys or Interceptor anyway, has completed 54 laps. Yeah, it looked like, I believe that was Cypher Knight. Cypher Knight's trying to, he may have just enough time to get his last lap in and not end up a lap down. Interceptor's giving us a great little spin out show. But let's see, where is Bax? Bax still not quite to the line. I'll go back to Interceptor, watch Interceptor spin it around some more. He's having him a lot of fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah. And yep, here we come. Bax coming across the line. Yeah, I think. Yeah, Sig for driver of the day. I think I kind of want to give Bax my vote for the driver of the day. He's just from front to back to front to back to front.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. He's shown some incredible pace, really, and I think like there's no other candidate. I mean, Interceptor had a fantastic first part of the race, but you really have to feel for Bax. He's had a fantastic, breakthrough. Really, season-end race. Really.
Yep, and that was everybody across the line, y'all. We have Interceptor in first, Bax Console Planet in second, Marcos third, McCaleb fourth, GTS in fifth, Agulator sixth, Cypher Knight seventh, Snaker eighth. Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to Jukebox Sig. He's still in the pit. It even says he retired.
What a lazy guy.
And now we'll switch over to I got us a little screen for me and Sig to talk over during the last of the race, and who was Marcos was our final. So let me get Marcos's name up there. So yeah, I do have Interceptors. It's a very poor rendition of gold, but it's a nice yellow, and I'm gonna call it gold.
So, Bax. Oh, hold on. Bax had a 50-second penalty.
Wow.
So did Snaker. Oh man.
Oh yeah, definitely a really brutal track for those guys.
And also, if you want to put that somewhere, what I sent you before, about the Christmas Cup, you are free to do so.
Let's see here. Oh.
Also, I worked out the math. Bax did not win the championship just yet. He has now a 57-point advantage on me, and he needed 60. So
he will be.
he will only need to. Well, I mean, I guess he just needs to show up at this next race and finish, really, and that's about it. That's about it for him to win the championship.
And here we go. While it is not extremely well placed, y'all, this is the information that SIG has started putting together for the Winter Cup. Actually, let me make it just a little bit bigger so it's a little bit more legible for you guys.
Yes,
Oh wow, SIG,
unfortunately,
y'all have got a fantastic track lineup for that, and you said everybody's gonna, all of them are gonna be ice.
yes. I checked myself.
Oh,
All of these tracks uh, are are eligible for snow season. Um, so if you hate the tracks, you can hate me. You can directly hate me, send me hate messages and all. Uh, because
no,
I
all of
personally
those
handpicked
tracks
those.
in the ice are gonna be a lot of fun and a lot of tough, really tough. Yeah, I might be more excited than this about this one than the drivers, just because I know what this is gonna look like on a stream. It's gonna look absolutely incredible. Um, and I do have
I
to say, I
mean,
don't think anybody else is really doing anything like that either. They may play with it a little bit, but
yeah, I believe
not to
that
this
really
degree.
is a first for as far as I'm concerned. And really, we just wanted people to have fun in the winter season, holiday season. We just wanted to keep them happy. So, one thing we've also done that is really very important is that we are going to be turning off damage for these races. So if you knock people, if you have a little touch either with people or with a concrete wall, you are not going to suffer any consequences. Which obviously doesn't mean you're gonna have to be a pinball. Uh,
Yeah, not exactly a free reign, but just if you do mess
um,
up, you're not going to take yourself out of the race. It'll be more centered. It seems like it'd be more centered around fun than
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. We didn't feel like one accident should result in somebody not having fun for the rest of the race just because they have to either repair or drive with a you know botched car.
Yep. And we were lined up for Bowie for an interview, and he still may join. I'm not sure, but Sig, I checked our Discord that everybody go to the website gavraracing.altavista.org, check out all the information, sign up for as much stuff as you possibly can, and make sure you check out the Discord link down at the bottom that the guy on here, Sig, made for us
Yep.
and maintains. He does a great job. But yeah, I checked the Discord a second ago, Sig, and I had a message from Bowie. His pedals gave out on him during the
Oh, that's a
race.
shame.
Yeah, so
He told me about it being an issue, so
yeah,
that
I'm
definitely is a
not.
shame.
Yeah, it really is. So I'm not sure if we'll see him in here for an interview or not. Me personally, I would be very livid. So I wouldn't be up for an interview. So Bowie, if you're listening
Yeah,
and you're not up for the interview, man, I totally get it. I'd have broke a bunch of stuff most likely.
yeah.
But yeah, that definitely tough break. But thankfully, for everybody listening, and if you want to join the Discord and us, if you go to the Discord, Sig has a channel just for hardware, and there's actually some really talented guys that I've seen tell some of the other people how to fix some stuff that I would
Oh
have thrown
yeah.
away. Uh,
Yeah, we're trying to, since a few of us are getting into the PC side of things, with iRacing and stuff. Some of the people that are in GAVRA or have been in GAVRA for a long time, um, have decided to, take part in that, and like there's a lot of people just keen to give advice and help people sort out their stuff.
Well, and I also have to say that one huge thing that I see in GAVRA racing that you don't see in a lot of other racing communities is drivers happy to help other drivers learn to set their cars up.
Oh, absolutely. It is. I mean, it is like the thing is, you may join for the racing, but then after a while, you just stay for the people because, especially, I believe, with the Discord server and everyone being being able to communicate a lot more and a lot more quickly, there's much more a sense of a community really
Oh,
that has been developing.
I definitely agree. Um, and yeah, I think for a long time, I think it was I think I said before it was you, me, and me six talking to each other. So yeah, it has
Yeah.
definitely evolved a lot.
Oh, for sure. I
And
mean, like we've gone from having one championship using Discord last season to all of them using the Discord server as a matter of fact, as a base for operations. Really, everything gets communicated there. Everything, like most of the stuff nowadays is done through there. So it's
it's
just really just a community tool that has helped us so much.
yeah, I think I love it. I love the Discord. I was like so many of the other people when I first heard of it. You know, the first thing that popped in my head was, well, why do I need this whole other external app to do what I'm already doing on my PlayStation? But then I
Oh,
started
yep.
playing with it, and I realized that the Discord has so much more and is so much better than trying to do it all through the PlayStation.
I mean, basically, the story of it is that I got so frustrated with PSN chat, I just decided to create a Discord server because I had been using it for a long time, and decided that was the better way. And oh, so far it's gone well.
Oh no, I think you made a great move. And yeah, and all the way back when it was just you, me, and me six, I don't even think I was on the Discord server, but I don't think I had officially joined GAVRA Racing, so I was the little aggravating guy trying to beg everybody to let me have a chance to race and stuff back then. Uh,
I mean, in hindsight, it was a good decision, huh?
oh, extremely. I think so. Um, but Sig, it doesn't look like Bowie's gonna join us, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
Yeah,
It's totally understandable.
yep. Well, from me, Sig, thank you so much for jumping in here, man. It's been awesome to do this with you. Thanks to all the administrators and Gavra and you, all the viewers. And Sig, I'll let you have the final call out.
Well, it's been a pleasure being here. Really, it's been a good way to um, not get frustrated about me just missing a race. It's been good commentating. I always enjoy it, and especially like with Jukebox, he does such a good job. Massive shout out to him. Uh, we've seen some great racing, and I expect some more. You know what? Expect some more because we've got some good stuff coming for next season. We're definitely confident that some people will definitely like the stuff that we're sort of planning for next season. So obviously, stay tuned in the Discord server. That's where most of the news will come through. So yep, follow us there. Follow us on YouTube. All that good stuff. From me, Sig, and from Jukebox, it was all. So have a good night.